Hello, my name is Dorothy Mayhew. I'm the Economic Officer here at the U.S. Embassy in Wellington, New Zealand. And with me here today is Dr. Fred Samandari, who is the Director of the Spatial Engineering Research Centre, which is an academic research center located within the College of Engineering, yes, at the University of Canterbury, here in Christchurch, New Zealand. So thank you for being here with us today, Dr. Samandari. So your website, which we will post later on, describes the work of the SERC as bridging the gap between engineering and geography. So could you describe for us what this means in practice and a little bit about what type of research your center conducts?
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. Happy to be here. One of the areas that our center is involved in is indoor positioning and navigation. Especially when GPS signals are not present. The last few days that I've been in Wellington, the issue came to roost because my GPS kept not locating the satellite and could not find its way around, was telling me to go to the left, and 50 meters later was telling me that I should turn right. So geographists have been outside, and what we're trying to do with indoor navigation and positioning is to provide the engineering capability for them to come inside in the areas where infrastructure is not built in and there is no GPS signal. Now, it creates interesting challenges that many people around the world are trying to solve this. Now, positioning and knowing your location in the world has become more and more of an interest, not just to geographical scientists, but also to the rest of the public at large. And gathering that information is important. Many of the information that is provided nowadays and the data that's collected has the georeference material attached to it that is used for businesses or for scientific purposes.
Okay, excellent. So that sort of gets at the heart of my next question, which is a lot of research institutes spend a lot of time coming up with some excellent ideas, but your center has historically been able to take that and look at solving some real-world problems. And as you've mentioned, some of the work that you've done on aerial mapping and GPS. So I think we'd be very interested in an example of some real-world application of the research that SERC either has conducted or is conducting now.
Okay. So with aerial survey, one of the real examples is to provide an opportunity to deploy aerial surveying to areas of disaster-stricken areas in a costly, time-effective manner. The idea there would be that when the environment is under attack of any sort, whether it's seismic or otherwise, it is very hard to fly manned aircrafts. At the same time, the trains and the environment will make it very difficult to know the position of everyone on the ground. So we have created certain equipment, hardware and software, that work together, that provide the georeference of everyone on the ground, every position. That transmits to the command center, so the command center can make timely, intelligent decisions as to how the personnel need to move, how the evacuation, if it needs to take place, must happen, where the areas of oncoming difficulty or issues might be that need to be avoided. And processing that data in the background is also a challenge. And we have our own software that we've developed that processes it, stitches all the information together to, again, give very timely information back to the command center. Lastly, we've also worked with infrared so that at times when the visibility is very poor and you can't do aerial photography, with visible photography that we can do infrared.
Wow, that sounds excellent, and especially useful in a city like Christchurch that's had the number of earthquakes that you have.
Yes.
So one of the other advantages of being in New Zealand is that it offers some really fantastic opportunities by its location, and one of those, I noticed from your website, is the ability to conduct research in Antarctica. And again, on your website, there was a fantastic photo of an unmanned aerial vehicle down on the ice. Could you tell us a little bit about that project, what you were looking for, what the research was exploring?
So that particular UAV was made with Antarctica in mind, and it has been down there twice. The first reason was to have it fly, land, take off, especially short landing and takeoff in very harsh environment to see what it could do, to see what the payload would be and how much weight it could carry, but at the same time to provide high quality pictures of the sea ice on the McMurdo Sound. By taking pictures and then georeferencing them and creating a 3D model, we're able to estimate what the sea is doing and what the potential impacts of global warming might be. The other aspect is that really in polar regions, running a manned aerial program is difficult and expensive, and therefore UAVs play an important role there.
Wow. So you have a fairly broad range of exciting research that's going on down at the SERC, but on a more personal level, you yourself have a very interesting career path. You have studied and worked in the United States as well as in Europe and New Zealand. And so as the US government and the New Zealand government are looking at what excites students about careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, I'd be interested to know what called you into your engineering career.
Yeah. Well, I started my undergraduate degrees in 1977, and at the time, personally having had 3 older brothers, 2 in the engineering field and 1 a medical doctor, I was more interested in electronics. Electronics were just coming into the picture. They're gaining momentum. I was interested in computers, and I thought this is a fast-changing area to be involved in, and that's how I got involved. In addition, I took a biology course, and I realized I really had no interest in dissecting animals, and I think that sort of sealed my faith. And I haven't regretted it. It's been a wonderful journey.
Well, you ended up in New Zealand, which is a great place to be. So to come back to that point, again, getting good, high-quality opportunities for students in these careers is a priority of a number of governments, including the American government. So based on your work in universities, I'd be interested in your opinion on what types of incentives do you think might attract young people into these fields?
In terms of high school students before they even start university, I can say that there seems to be at times a myth, especially in New Zealand, as to what engineers do. And getting more of the word out there by both, especially in the New Zealand government, I must say, to the younger generations, women in general, we still have very few of them in the engineering field. To know that there are many, many exciting opportunities there would be important. The other incentive will be an opportunity for them to do internship of a period of maybe 3 to 6 months in North America and vice versa from North America into New Zealand, because programs are of a very, very similar quality, and we have wonderful schools in here that can cater to the needs of the universities in the States. The other part is that there are new scientific challenges that come around every day. And science is, although every branch of technology and non-technology related items are changing, but I think the change of pace in terms of technology and scientific fields are a lot greater. So if people have an interest in learning all the time, this is the area to be.
Fast changing and dynamic. So one last point here, if there are scientists or students who are interested in the type of work that you're describing, who are interested in scientific careers, and they haven't already gone to the U.S. Embassy website to look at information on, for example, the Fulbright program and some of the exchanges you're talking about, how could they get in touch with you specific to the work that you're doing down at the University of Canterbury?
If they do a Google search, the last I knew in New Zealand regarding Wireless Research Centre or Spatial Engineering Research Centre, we do show up at the top of the list. So that would be very, very easy to find. Otherwise, if they go to the website of the University of Canterbury and looked at research departments, there are only a few in the College of Engineering, and we're very prominently placed there.
That sounds excellent. Well, Dr. Samandari, thank you for spending time with us here today, and enjoy the rest of your trip to Wellington.
Once again, thanks for the invitation.
Excellent.